Howdy. What up, everybody?
Hello.
You see, we're in a different location today. Rain.
Modern problems
Yeah. You see me.
require modern solutions.
I'm in my Tim Pool chair.
Yeah.
I guess / every gaming streamer ever.
It feels like we're about to start playing video games right now.
Right.
It's like, here, let me tell you about Marvel Contest of Champions, about how great that game is. It's been 5 years. I have lots of 7 stars, six stars galore, all the 5.
Yep.
You know, pretty good. So far, so good. So let me show you something about how we do this game. And we're not doing that.
Why don't you start live streaming for the people? You might be able to play video games for a living.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. And
but your shit talking is golden.
it used to be. It used to be pretty fantastic. I don't know what happened to my ears. I think this thing kind of...
Oh, yeah. It's
finicky.
It's finicky.
Yeah. Let me see.
If you stop moving it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just rolled on my leg, and then everything just went... You can hear on one ear, but not the other.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, I couldn't do that because I'd have to dedicate more time to video games and doing that. And
Yeah, but you might be able to quit your regular job.
I don't know how I'd feel. I'm not good enough to be that kind of person.
Just try it. Just try to like just partition off some time where everybody's asleep and just start doing some late night shit.
Maybe. Well,
on a weekend.
I guess my thing is that getting older, I'm angrier in a different way than I was in my 20s / teens. Teens was a fucking whole nother level. So my teens and 20s and early 30s, before children, my shit-talking game was at a pure premium.
It was professional level.
It was professional. Like, if there was, like, the NFL of shit-talking, it was there. Now that I've gotten humbled over the years, which most middle-aged men as we are.
Yeah, time tends to do that.
And you start going to the, it's not worth all the battles. It's not worth getting into. I don't want to have this argument. Other than in my 20s and 30s and, you know, everything before my mid-30s, I'll fight you for anything. I'll argue for no reason just because I just feel like it.
Because it's fun.
And the thing is, it's like I don't even mean it 90% of the time. I just want to fuck with you. Because here's where it comes down to. If you say, fuck you, you lose. That's it.
Yeah.
Once you don't have a legitimate comeback,
Yeah.
that's it. You lost the game, shut down your system, your console, whatever, or walk away. Because that's it. You lose. You're not allowed to play this game anymore. Come back another day when you have some legitimate comebacks and shit-talking in your quiver, as you will. Because apparently I'm an archer now.
In your bag. You know.
Yeah, you got to keep it in your bag. Once you run out, then I mean the game's over. You know, we all get bested. But when I was younger, it was hard. It was hard because I would just fight you for anything. And it was so much fun, especially whenever, you know, like there's the cheap shots. You know, once you start getting off topic and you start going for looks and appearances, then you know that you don't really have much left. It's like when people have an argument about whatever argument, like not argument, but whatever conversation you're having, whatever situation you're running into, and you start listing examples where you're like, and you did this, and you did this, and you know, lots of other things. You know what lots of other things mean? I can't think of anything else.
Yep. And
I can't sit here and waste more time trying to come up with examples because I don't have them and they're not coming, so... And the fun part is calling people out when they try to use that tactic of, oh, you know, you said this about me, or you were doing this, and, you know, and lots of other things. Like, well, tell me about these other things. See, like, I acknowledge those two. Let's put those to the side. Let's talk about these.
Are we talking about fights you're having with your
your
stepchildren?
No, I'm talking about, like, any fight with anyone you ever have. Whenever they start trying to list examples, as soon as they come up with, and lots of other things, that means they have 0 more examples. They have the ones that they listed. Because if you're really into a fight about anything, once you have, if you really know and you're really passionate about the argument that you're having, you can list them all off. And especially like grievances, you can boom, 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 boom. And you can go on and on for days. But once you hit that, and so many more bullshit. And that goes for political arguments. It's like, you know, you ran out.
Yeah.
And it's like these things that I was listening earlier. This whole Dave Smith, what was it? Uyghur?
Shall we?
No. I mean, because
pull it up?
No. I'm just saying that you should go watch it. I'm about 3/4 of the way through right now, and so it's Cenk Uyghur, Dave Smith. I mean, you could pull it up so they can see the link, but we won't play anything from it. Yeah. Dennis Prager and Batya, and whatever her last name is, because I can't pronounce it, and I looked at it once. And I don't like the way she talks. It's weird.
Whose podcast was it on, or what's the show it was on?
Just put Dave Smith. Just write Dave Smith. Yeah, that should be it. Yeah, right there. Ago. The Israel-Palestine, the Israel, Iran, and Palestine. Hello, everybody, and that's welcome to the Zero. What's his name? Cigar.
Oh, from The Hill?
Yeah, from her and the Crystal Sager. By the way, Crystal Sager's hot. You ever see that?
Yeah.
It's crazy. She looks a lot...
She's dating Kyle Kalinske.
Yeah, I heard. I bet those are fun talks.
Yeah, she's totally ideologically captured because she's dating him. It's funny how relationships can change you.
Yeah, but you don't know what their behind the scenes is.
I'm not a Kalinske fan.
Really?
Nah.
I think he's funny. I don't like agree with everything. But to be fair, I don't know what I would agree with him on to begin with, because there's all I know is I've listened to some of his stuff and I'm like, yeah. But specifically, no clue. I mean, nothing stands out.
I'll
see, like with the Dave Smith kick that I've been on, because I like the way he talks. I like how he really tries to be objective about stuff, and I followed that. There's not everything that I like about him. Obviously you're going to have some disagreements. Any rational person who has their own brain is going to look at anything someone says. And
any rational person that has their own brain,
they can come up with their own opinions about. They're like, oh, okay, well, not everything, because you can't agree with everyone on everything. It's impossible. Even like the person that you love the most. Like, I love Porter to pieces. I do. I've loved him. We've been like brothers for fucking coming on 20 years now.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, and...
I'm not oh, God, to us being friends. Oh, God, to time.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, being my friend is hard. Being your friend is hard, too.
Is it?
It has its moments. It's got its challenges.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's plenty of times that we have arguments and conversations about, we'll just say multiple topics, and then sometimes I just like to fuck with them just because it's fun. Yeah. Like, I'll pick at them knowing that it's going to cause a fight just because I wanted to start one. I was like, I'm having a weird day. Let's just pick a fight. Let's talk about religion just for fun.
That's just dysfunctional.
And it's just like, and I know it's going to get them. It's like a girlfriend that wants to pick a fight with you. They know exactly what's like. Not just a girlfriend that you love with all of your heart, and the girlfriend that loves you gets pissed off, wants to start a fight, and knows exactly what buttons to press. And you know what? You fall for it every single time. It's like, oh, whoa, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how it goes. And then you're in, and then you're stuck in a 2-hour fight. Mm-hmm. The only fun part is that.
Well, you throw out bunker busters.
Yeah,
you throw out bunker busters. That's what women do.
Yeah, I know.
They say shit that just burrows in your brain, and then you have a fight in your head with the person later.
Yeah,
it's not. It just ruins your whole day.
All the shit that you're like, well, if they bring this up again, I got all these things to say, and then you get in the heat of the fight, and it's like you forget all of it. It's like 10 minutes later, it's like, I could have said so many things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I do to Porter sometimes, just because it's like, you know what? I just want a heated discussion. The only problem is that I try to pull the ripcord, and he keeps going. I was like, hey, man, like it's not fun anymore. Like, I was just doing this shit to be funny. Like, I don't care anymore. Stop. I didn't care to begin with. Stop. Shut up. I don't need paragraphs. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I kind of, I don't know.
It's like, I knew what I was doing.
I have trouble letting things go.
That's fine. I knew what I was doing. It's just like, I keep forgetting that when I'm done, he's not done. So it's like, okay.
Now wait just a minute.
I know I started the house fire, but you don't need to. You keep screaming. I was like, hey man, it was just a joke. Calm down. Fuck. All right, Jesus is king. Come on, relax.
Although it's nice to see you come around, where you said on one of the last podcasts, they need Jesus.
They do. And the thing is that it doesn't matter what religion you actually subscribe to, but if it makes you a better person and stops making you act like a dick, then I'm cool
at the end of the day, it's not even about religion. It's like, because the product, I don't know, the whole space, the whole church space between like the Protestants, the Protestant, specifically the evangelicals, there's so much drama happening. Like, there's little internal wars. That's like the problem with the conservative side, or anybody that's to the right of freaking Mao Zedong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like anybody that's not a progressive. Because the thing about the progressives and most of the Democrats is they like all unify to get behind a cause, whereas Republicans will nitpick, Republicans, conservatives, and other people on the right, like to all the extremes, like from every bit of the spectrum. It's always a fight. There's so much infighting going on within each subgroup, as well as like within the groups within that subgroups. It's like the clash of crusades all the way down.
Hey, can I ask you a question about this debate?
Sure, I have no frame of reference because I didn't hear anything.
No. I'm talking about the topic.
Oh,
okay. So, in the news lately, it's been Iran attacking, and then the IDF retaliating,
which turned into a nothing burger.
It really did. They didn't hit it
because Iran, like, they got completely thwarted. Like all of a sudden, IDF, and all their like technology and their defense forces were all like. Ironically, somebody said it's kind of a miracle that they all like prevented like a devastating attack.
Okay, all right,
or whatever.
So this is what I want to go with this.
But Iran can't win against Israel.
They can't. Not against their defenses. They're too good. And now if they penetrate it, then we'll talk about that. But you got to get through it.
They had to catch him by surprise on October 7th.
You got to think about
just to do what they did.
For a sports metaphor, anybody who actually likes football and has any cursory knowledge of the past 25 years. Think about early 2000s. Let's go this. 2000 Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis, and that entire Baltimore Ravens defense. Right? They won the Super Bowl against the Giants, and they beat the living dog shit out of them.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't. All they had to do was basically put up a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And then that was it. Their defense had nothing. I mean, the offense for the Giants had nothing for their defense because you just couldn't break through it. It was too strong. It's probably one of the best all-time defenses in the league. The reason I bring that up is it's like this. It's like if you can't break through the defense, like then who gives a shit? It doesn't matter if you got Trent Dilfer, this piece of shit, as your quarterback.
Yeah.
Because he's nothing.
It doesn't matter how big your gun is. It's like if you don't have strategy, or if you don't have the assets to overcome your opposition, the outcome will be the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
No matter how good your players are.
Well, shit, if you're going to run off this, I'm going to do the same thing.
Well, I'll keep one ear on him.
No, it's
you got to keep one ear on the system just to check for problems.
Okay. Well, this is my, I guess the whole bugaboo about this whole thing. So where do I fall? Where do you fall on this whole thing? Because it's hard. Like going through Daryl Cooper's Israel and Palestine, the fear and loathing
Yeah.
in Jerusalem.
The martyr made stuff.
It's outstanding because it just gives you, for someone who just objectively wants to learn about history with no agenda, I just want to know what happened. Like, I'm getting into more books about different wars that I know nothing about, that I've never even heard of. And I'm curious, like, okay, so who's right and who's wrong?
I think,
Beer is always right.
beer's never the worst decision.
No.
Yeah. Well, from a theological perspective, those covenants are there as covenants, but I think people.
Do you stand with Israel?
I stand with Israel to the point as long as they're the people. Let me say, I stand with the nation of Israel in the sense that, like, it has God's blessing and all that stuff, but I do think people in power will use that.
What was that saying? It's like, if you support Israel, what was the thing about it? It was if you
support Israel,
you'll flourish or something. I don't remember.
If you bless Israel, God will bless you.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So,
which is crazy because you're like, hold on, it's just a whitewash of the whole thing. They could be complete shitheads. I'm not saying they are, but they could do the most atrocious things in history imaginable. But but as long as you do that, because they're blessed by Jesus, you don't have some assholes.
I'm not saying that.
I mean, by God, but I'm saying.
Well, the in the book of Kings and Judges and Chronicles, if you look at all that,
Sacramento Kings,
you see what happens. That's
Chronicles
actually
Riddick.
those. Stop it! Damn it! See what I'm saying? Can't get anywhere with this guy. But
yeah,
no, the stories that run through those books of the Bible, it's basically Israel falling under the rule of different kings. Like they had a good benevolent king for a little while, then they had a not so benevolent king, and they brought in pagan stuff, and they merged with the other Canaanite tribes and all that stuff, and then God took away favor and let judgment come upon Israel and stuff like that.
And so that's how we got the Holocaust.
I didn't say that.
We're just saying, you worship idols,
but
shit
but I will say now I don't know what the Murder Made podcast has to say about all that, but
fuck it, I'm gonna start picking fights.
But after the Holocaust happened, right after from a historical perspective, the Jews were restored to Israel. Like right after the Holocaust happened, that huge bad atrocity and all that stuff, and then
but it wasn't,
Israel became a nation.
But
again.
that's the thing is, it didn't happen in the right way. I mean, it probably shouldn't have happened that way anyway.
Right.
Because if you go historically through, every war, land changes hands in some form or another, right?
Yeah.
Whether they get it back or not, people take shit over and then they take it back, or they never take it back. Who knows? I mean, you think about Indochina, right? Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam and the whole shebang, right? It was occupied by the French. Vietnam said, nope, don't want that bullshit no more. Got us involved in the war. How we even stayed, even though Kennedy was completely against it, and then Lyndon Johnson had no clue what the fuck was going on. Like he was just like, I shouldn't even be here.
I think that there are vested interests across the globe of because of the business of war.
Well, yeah, there was a business of war and then business of heroin.
Yeah.
That's what kept that thing fueling.
But
now, if there weren't poppy fields and there was no money to actually be made, I think the military-industrial complex only goes so far at that time.
I've also heard certain things, and I wonder how much people are actually using what
for that war or something else.
The Israel conflict.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to stay on Israel. I have heard
together.
I can't give you my sources, but I've heard in certain analysis or certain people just talking on it that how much people might actually be leveraging like end times Christian theology and the story in the Bible, how they're using that to leverage things into war to fit the events that are depicted in in the book.
That shit pisses me off.
In the book of Revelation.
You understand, like
they're
you're trying to create
it's called accelerationism.
Yeah, but the thing is, let's say that
they're literally playing God.
Let's say everybody believes in God, right?
Yeah.
Let's just put this on the table, just a clear. Everyone, boom, you all believe in God, right?
Yeah.
And you believe in the book or whatever. Do you think that he's gonna let you accelerate his timeline? No, that's not gonna happen. I mean, let's put it like this.
But at the same time,
I have children. Hold on. I have children.
Yeah.
Porter's about to have a child.
Yeah.
What he will soon learn is that it is hard to make them do shit when they don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen because you got to, you got to go to school. You got to get your ass up. You got to get showered. You got to fucking do your hair. You're not going to go looking like a crazy fucking hobo.
Right.
You got to get this stuff done. So yeah, it happens, but trust me, the majority of the time, especially when you're in toddler age, it is a fight.
Fight to the...
And yes, you win, but at what cost?
Right.
Because I'm guaranteeing you, you're going to be late more times than you ever want to be.
Than you are on time.
I'm very punctual, to an extent. I'm a very punctually minded person, but being a parent, like, you have to have everything on point or that shit does not fly. Now, going back to this conversation, you can't, if God is real, like, and we all believe and like we're all on the same page that God is real and this whole thing, you're not, for the most high king of everything, you're not making him do shit. Nope. He's going to do it the way he wants to do it. So this whole acceleration thing, all it's going to do is just,
make him mad. Make him
you're
mad.
Getting a flood. Oh, you're getting a flood.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
10 plagues?
10 plagues.
10 plagues. 7? How many plagues was it?
There's 10.
10. Okay, cool. Yeah. Dude, I'm rusty, man. I'm trying to get back into it.
Man.
Sorry, there's too many things.
There's been a lot of movies made about Exodus. So.
That's not it. That's not like, I'm not trying to watch the made-for-TV movie about Jesus. All right, or God. Sorry, God, because Jesus, he was already gone by that point.
What?
He went home.
By the Exodus? What are you saying?
Oh no, I was thinking Revelations. My bad.
Come on.
No. I was thinking Revelations. Sorry.
In Revelations, he comes back.
Yeah, but when all the shit was going down, where was he? Was he hanging out?
No,
was he playing guitar?
He's opening the seals, man. He's opening the seals.
What happens after he opens the seals?
The bad things start happening.
Where does he have to?
Shall we go over Revelation right now?
No,
okay.
No. We're going to stay on topic. But yeah, But I want to have this conversation.
Well, no, he's involved like the whole time.
Okay, does he have a horse?
At some point, he does.
I know.
At some point, he does.
I just like the idea of
he rides the white horse at the final battle of Armageddon.
So he's Dumbledore.
He rides into Jerusalem. He descends upon the Mount of Olives.
He's Dumbledore.
No.
I'm thinking of Lord of the Rings. What is it? Gandalf the White. He's Gandalf the White.
I mean, that's symbolic of it. But Aragorn is actually closer to the symbolic representation.
So is Gandalf,
because it's Return of the King.
That's a good point.
No, the Lord of the Rings.
No,
the Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings is a Christian story. Tolkien was a Christian. Him and C.S. Lewis were pretty tight.
I don't know where I heard this, but I was listening to something where they talked about, and I was just talking about like this is going to the Christian thing.
Yeah.
As how like the Killers is one of the best Christian bands of all time, and I'm like, huh? And God, my memory sucks so bad.
They made it fit,
and they broke it down. It's like, this is like all the, if you look at the lyrics and you go through and break it down, like, this is a Christian band. I'm like, how?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I want to get into it.
I don't think they intended to be a Christian band. I don't think it's, yeah.
Okay, so, but to go back to this, so like,
in fact, some of their stuff's like, there's quite dark narratives kind of
but
woven into their stuff.
You know the book.
Brandon Flowers.
You know the book. The book isn't fucking sunshine and rainbows.
No, it's not. The Bible is not. It's not about...
Like, what is
it's not about perfect people doing perfect stuff. Like these are rough people around the edges that just so happen to have.
Patton Oswalt even said it. He's like, you like torture porn? Go to the fucking Old Testament. There's some crazy shit. I'm like, which is wild. Anyway, to get back to it, so you can't give a blanket to Israel and the Jewish people and just say, hey, everything you say and do is great, because it's not.
It doesn't give them a pass to do whatever they want.
Because that's what.
And it certainly doesn't give a pass to the the leaders of Israel to like do what they're doing.
But as a chosen people,
right?
Supposedly,
don't like people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, man. I mean,
who is that? Boondock Saints. People in glass houses sink ships.
Yes. Tell you, boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him fish. That's my mix-up.
What was it? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, hey, let's just make like a tree and get the fuck out of here.
Make like a tree. Get the fuck out of there. Good stuff.
Yeah, but like the whole Israel, like if you really break it down and you go, and I know I'm getting a lot of this, like, and it's my opinion, but it's from researching and listening to hours of random opinions.
I haven't listened to that enough, but what's your grand interpretation?
All right, so far this is where I get. All right,
yeah.
So
say what you're going to say.
All right.
I can't really like debate you on it right now.
All right, so here's my thing. I'm getting a beer because I need one.
Yeah, give me one too. I'll take a. It doesn't matter. They're both pretty stout. Yeah. Pause for a commercial break.
All right, commercial's over, motherfucker. Trade. I gave you the wrong one. Man, you were almost cool by opening my beer. All right, okay.
I don't want to all over stuff.
All right. So here's my grand opinion. I mean, I know whatever it's worth is worth. So this is what I think. So when it comes to conflicts like this, you have to go back and look at the conflicts of probably the last 100 years. Yeah. You can go further if you want. There's obviously way more things that you can dive into that kind of applies to this, but there's context in all of these wars. Let's go with, the whole Vietnam thing, right?
Uh-huh.
They wanted to be a free and independent nation. They were dealing with colonialism.
French colonialism, but their attempt to the revolution, they were communists, right? It's kind of similar to the Russians.
Yes,
kind of similar to the Russians.
Ho Chi Minh, who kind of was like a world traveler and was learning, but he wanted to bring peace to the Vietnam and the whole Indochina region.
And he was reading Marx and stuff.
Yeah, he was, but
it's like one of the children of the
but
ideology.
he wasn't following it to a T.
Was it Leninism or is it?
No, it was more Marxist, like
straight to the core. Because Leninism was a new, and Lenin was close to the source. Like he was at the funeral.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was right there. No, Stalin just took it and went fucking.
Yeah, he was a true believer too.
He's
like, we have utopia on the other side. If all these people have to die, then we must.
But see, they use that as an excuse. Just because you like an idea doesn't mean he was going to impose it. What he really wanted was to be a free and independent nation.
Ho Chi Minh.
Yes. And you did.
Stalin wanted control.
If you're watching this, I recommend go to Ken Burns' Vietnam. And this is what's beautiful about Ken Burns. He breaks down both sides and how people are wrong on both sides and how people are right on both sides. It's a purely objective.
Here the U.S. got involved because business.
We got involved because of, business, but originally we got involved because the French said that we were an ally of the French, and they said they needed help. We jump in, and they fucking scooted out, and we got sucked into this war. You got to think, the last 10 years of the war, France was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, they were gone.
They're like, this is your problem.
So the revolution was, successful.
Yeah.
Had it not been for the United States
No.
involvement.
they won.
They won. Yeah.
They won. It was successful. Here's another thing. The Algerian War. Same thing. French colonialism. They wanted to break free of it. Took about 8 years, and they did it. 1830s. See, Algeria was its own thing, and then I think it was the 1830s, the French came over and took it over, and then by 1962, they finally said, fuck. Well, 1950s, early 1950s, they said, all right, I had enough of this shit. I've been really getting deep into the Algerian War, because nobody's fucking
Well, it
talked
sounds
about
to me
it.
like you're getting a pretty healthy dose of French conquest.
Yeah, good.
You're getting pretty well versed on it.
Well, it just happens to be, I never heard of this war, and it just happens to be French colonialism. I mean, shit, India.
Yeah, it just
Same
ties
shit.
right in.
No, that was British. Anyway,
Yes.
Anyway, it was colonialism, and they're just like, hey, we want to be our own shit. We're getting tired of y'all occupying us and telling us how to run our own thing. We don't want to do this anymore. I know it's a dumbed-down version, but that's pretty much it. So anyway, long story short, after guerrilla warfare and the long process and a lot of people dying in a very small area, they finally got their independence in Algeria, or Algiers at the time. Algeria is its own thing now. It's great, right? How, as Americans, can we hate on that? We can't, because we fought against British.
We had our own revolution.
We fought against the British colonialism in 1776 up until the 1780s.
We were just we were one of the first. We were one of the first revolutions of the new age, and we rode that. We rode that winter status.
And that's the thing is, how do you hate on guerrilla warfare? Because that's how we fucking...
That's what we did.
That's what we did. Because we're like, we can't fight them like that. We'll lose.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Scotland. Scotland did great, but as soon as they met the British on the battlefield, they got fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they came back and they actually won it. But, I mean, you can't fight... It's like, hey, this is their strong suit. You can't fight them at their strength because it doesn't work. They got lucky with the main war where they actually won, and then they got their ass kicked, and then they came back, and then the Robert the Bruce actually had his shit together.
The Braveheart one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's historically correct. Like they actually
Scottish independence.
Yes, because they actually got their group and using shit that the British hadn't seen before, flanking around and being like, oh, fuck. Like, they had the numbers, the Scottish didn't. Anyway, so I'm getting a little off track. So the thing is, what I'm saying is there's context. So when there's context, you have to go back and realize, it's like an old joke that I heard. It's like, this ass kicking didn't just come from nowhere. It's like,
It's a well-studied ass kicking.
Shit happened. And as they go through in this debate, they keep talking about how shit happened on both sides. And as we stand today, and the whole, I've been reading and listening to hours and hours, and of this shit, the Daryl Cooper thing is fantastic. If you just want information about any a historical event,
I'll follow him on Twitter.
It's fascinating, and it's good because he breaks it down, and you could tell that he's got no feelings a biased one way or the other. So I don't want to grab his junk and do that. The thing is, it's a good listen to get perspective on this whole Israeli-Palestine conflict, because they've been at odds, not full-blown AIDS at odds. They've been they've had skirmishes, and then this one took it, and then that one took it, and then that one, and the whole thing. Whenever there's a conflict and there's a kind of war, there's going to be land that's going to be passing hands. It just happens, right? So the Holocaust happens, and there's a lot of lead up, right? Because, and I can't break it down as beautifully as Daryl Cooper, and I'm not even going to try.
Somebody well versed.
Yeah, he's very well versed. I mean, he's done all the reading. I've done the listening to him doing all the reading. So you're getting the shitty foul mouth cliff notes of this. But for hundreds of years, there's been conflict between them, but it's been very minimal. It really hasn't been to this extreme. There's been Israelis living on Palestinian land, back and forth. They've had little problems here and there, but for the most part, they coexisted until the end of World War I.
There wasn't. A huge
and
conflict.
that was it. And the thing is that Jerusalem, that's just, if you know anything about the Ottoman Empire, the Crusades that started in what, the 1400s. That sounds right.
I was thinking it might
No,
started sooner than that.
No, the Crusades itself. No, it started in the 900s.
The 900s. I mean, that was centuries of war.
Cool. So
centuries of war and conquest.
Over a millennia.
Changing of
a millennia ago.
The pendulum. Like I still got that book on my shelf, but one of these days I'm gonna.
Well, yeah, you still got to finish the other one.
One of these days, I'm
the devil's chessboard.
Yeah, I'm tempted to take a damn speed reading course just to. Or
that, dude. You gotta let it sink in. Unless you're like me, who you let it sink in and you really take it in and you listen to it over and over again, and you can fucking barely remember it. Anyway, there's life.
Yeah, see, what's good of absorbing all that information if you can't recall any of it?
Well,
yeah, and I can't.
I understand the point of that, but what I'm saying is, it's like while you're listening to it, it's a great read. It's a great pickup. Anyway,
if I didn't have a band, I'd probably have more time to read. But
so
I have a band I'm trying to keep afloat.
Yeah, see, the thing is that you're parked here when you're working. I'm traveling a lot.
I'm not parked here anymore, actually.
Oh, so you're going back and forth to work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, then you'll get more time to listen to shit.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Like, I travel so much, so I'm listening to books and I'm consuming a lot. And then while
I don't
I'm working,
know, the Devil's Chessboard book is.
It's
that dude's sleepy. It's like Ken Burns.
You have to get into the information, because then once you really get into it, you really don't give a shit about the voice. It kind of goes away.
Yeah, I just haven't been.
So by the way, Alan Dulles, I'm coming for you, bud. We have something that we're going to talk about. Anyway,
I got both copies back, so I'm like,
so anyway, so we're there hasn't really been a big giant like conflict between the two. I mean, there's been shit here and there. There's been land changing hands, and the Ottoman Empire takes over, and then they last for a long fucking time, up until World War I, and that killed it. That killed the whole Ottoman Empire, and that was done. And then, even then, they still had, like, Jerusalem hadn't changed hands. It was still under Palestinian control. But the thing is that this whole argument is that Jerusalem was promised to the Jews. I mean, but was it? And even if it was, it's like, dude, you hadn't had it in fucking forever.
Since the diaspora.
Yeah.
Since the destruction of the temple in 78.
And you can't really say that.
Since the destruction of this temple in 78.
After a couple hundred years, you can't sit there and say, well, this is ours. That math doesn't really work. I mean, like, you could say it, but you lost it, and cool, but you can't just go and pick another bully and say, well, that was supposed to be ours. So, and then they just give it to you? Bullshit. Shit didn't work that way. And the thing is that y'all were living in harmony. Y'all weren't having this big...
Yeah, when did the actual, like, conflict erupt?
After the Holocaust, after World War II.
Oh, so after they were restored to the land.
So, if you know anything about
but you had a strong division between, like, your basic it's like your Jews that just basically took up residence, but then you had your Zionists.
But that's not really what it had. The Zionist movement,
that's what sparked it, right?
That came about in the early, like, right after World War I, like right after, and they wanted to make Jerusalem their home, and they just, like, they wanted to be part of it. But
it's a strong sense of Israel nationalism.
Yeah, it was a nationalism kind of thing. But the thing is that the Zionists didn't really make a strong push for Jerusalem until after the fact, because they wanted a piece of Palestine, and not a piece of it to have, they just to go live there. Okay. They just wanted to stay
and settle it,
and just have fucking farms and shit, and they just wanted to be near their homeland and just kind of have a sense of community. Yep. Palestinians didn't have a fucking problem with that. They were fine. They lived in harmony for a while, and then World War II broke out, and all this shit hit the fan.
Okay, so this is off the what do you call it, the maelstrom, or the aftermath of World War II, where I guess.
Well, what really happens is the Balfour Declaration is what fucked everything up.
Okay.
And I'll give you a small breakdown. And
that's the British Prime Minister.
Yes. I'm not going to
declared that it wasn't a Hebrew nation.
This is basically the contents of, to my understanding. Here's the fun part, and I don't agree with any of this shit anymore. It really gets on my nerves now. If you're a person and you want to speak into a camera and you want to talk about and give your opinions and you have discussions and whatever, stop giving caveats. Stop giving I may be getting this wrong. Just fucking say what you want to say. People are going to blast you either way.
It's true.
Just stop, dude. Like, you know, like it's
say
like
what you need to say.
I mean, pretty much. It's like, oh, I'm butchering this. Oh, I'm probably getting this wrong. This.
Yeah.
It's like, stop being a pussy. Just say what you want to say. This is what I think, or this is what I think he said. Right or wrong, I'm just going to say it. You don't need to say the words anymore. You want to know why we got pussies? Because of shit like that. People don't just say their words like, okay, this might hurt your feelings. Who fucking cares? If you don't like it, turn the shit off. Anyway, so the Balfour Declaration basically says, we think that you should have part of this land, but only if it doesn't infringe upon the people that live there. That's the gist of it. Now, if you go through the thing, yes, there's a lot more words and it says all kinds of shit, but that's the gist of it. Well, here's the issue with the Balfour Declaration is that you're promising shit to people that isn't theirs to get promised to. You can't give, like, it's like fucking someone telling Porter, it's like, well, you have, as long as it doesn't bother Greg, you can go drive this truck. Fuck you, that's mine. That's mine. I bought that shit. I've been working on this. I put in the wrench time. You didn't fucking do that.
Yeah,
I did it.
My name's on the deed.
Yeah, it's like, no, this is
made
mine.
the deal. I bought the truck.
It's like, yeah, but where's your paperwork?
Fuck
you.
It's
paperwork.
still my truck. Doesn't matter if it was stolen prior from
a
Jewish
did the work.
owner.
I put in the fucking time, the blood, sweat, and tears into this land. You don't just get to give it to someone else, and you don't even live here. That's the craziest shit. You're giving shit away from fucking way over there. You're not here. Whose right is it yours? It's like your divine right? Fuck you. No. You can't do that.
Divine right of kings. That makes me think of it.
All right. Here, you kind of look at the Balfour Declaration. See.
I'm trying to find. I'm the hardest part of this is looking for looking for a source that doesn't have an agenda behind it, because I'm looking at all this stuff.
There's literally a written thing.
You want me to find the Declaration itself?
Yeah, just find the Declaration. You can't. There is no bias in the shit that he wrote.
Fair. Okay. Well,
yeah, right there, and it's not long. It's really not. It's right there.
All right. Let's check it out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's just like a one-page
it's like
letter.
a fucking piece of paper.
It's
here, just so we have clarification on these sides. Here, blow it up so I can read it.
I'm trying to click on something. Okay, here we go.
Oh, there you go.
I gotta download it. There we go.
All right, just scroll it up just a little bit because my eyes are.
Let me put the reaction.
All right, yeah. For everyone at home, like here's the deal. All right, dear Lorth Rothschild.
Oh, Lord, let me.
I can't talk.
It's all right.
Can you just scroll it?
I'm trying to zoom.
Roll your mouse. I don't do it.
No.
Okay, how about this? Yeah, put your mouse on the thing. On the. I see it. See?
Oh.
Yeah, see, guess who's smart about computers now, dipshit.
Hey, yeah, well.
All right, now I can read. All right, so here, you know what? You fucking do the honors.
Shall I read it in a British accent?
Fuck it, why not?
Dear Lord
Rothschild. Hold on. November 2nd, 1917. So look at that, right about the end of World War II. It's just about over.
Yeah.
I mean, World War I, excuse me.
Dear,
I don't apologize.
November 2nd, 1917. Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you. I'm trying to sound like one of the British royal family.
Do it. No.
I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. who's the cabinet.
His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in
I wish we had a powdered
Palestine.
wig right now.
It was established by divine right of kings. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation.
You sound like someone who is half British, half Swedish.
Signed,
Mary Jane Austen.
Richard Darcy.
Mr. Darcy. What should I call you if I'm cross?
So there's not a lot of context in this.
But I
there's
mean,
not a lot of context.
The thing is like, there's nothing to fucking interpret. It says it right there. Hey, you can't do this shit if you fuck with other people. It says it right there.
Yeah.
Being clearly understood, see the fucking words? Clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine.
So
You can't just go in there and fuck shit up. That's what it says.
Yeah.
So
In English, pompous dick words.
So what's all the fighting about? What's all this about?
What's all the ruckus?
What's all the riffraff and the mismatch and
And the ballyhoo.
the spats and
That's one of my favorites. And all the ballyhoo.
oh, this ballyhoo.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, hey,
Oh, this
we
Scrabble
said that you can
muffin.
go have a community, but you can't fuck with the people that live there. That's what it says. It says, yeah. Even though, here's the fun part. Who are you to say that they can go there? That's not up to you. If the people in Palestine say, yeah, come on, that's on them. They're like, hell yeah. Dude, we need people. Dude, like, these farms suck. Like, we need people to help work them. Like, I can't do this by myself. Dude, bring your community. Let's do this. Let's have a commune. Let's do this together.
Let's do this.
But instead, they took this as, see, it's ours. Where does that say that? Where? Here, let me see if I can say it. Where does it say that? And I'm pointing to can they see that?
Yeah.
Where does it say it? Where? Is it there? Is it there? Is it there? It doesn't say it. It's yours. They said, yeah, you should have that. But, don't mess with the people that live there. This thing says, I know that y'all can't read because y'all stuck here fucking with farms and shit and y'all don't speak English. But they said that it's ours. So, dibs? It didn't work like that. I mean...
And
so,
that's all.
But
that's what started the fight.
That right there. This is what he wrote this in 1917, and I don't think that it was really enforced until after World War II.
It says declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations.
Yeah.
Okay, so
They made friends with the British government because they were out there kissing ass.
with that said, what were the Jewish Zionist aspirations?
To get Jerusalem.
What does that mean?
To get their homeland that they said that they were promised to them. That's what they were
To
trying
be able
get
to
back.
occupy the homeland, own it outright.
That's me guessing, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
I'm asking. Like, well, what were their aspirations?
I think that's what it was. That's my guess.
Well, no, like it. Well,
I'm sure there's
to have all this loaded momentum behind such a such a cause, as it were.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and it's a cause to this day. But my understanding of this whole Zionist movement is to... Nice.
Darn it.
Nailed it. Just fucking clumsy stands.
That's what I've become. I spilled stuff on me 3 times yesterday.
Yep. Anyway, so not my understanding. This is what I'm getting from this. Zionists want to have their own piece. They want to have Jerusalem and occupy and control it because, according to them, their whole deal is like they should be living and occupying the Holy Land, which is Jerusalem. Now, as far as the Arabs, there are 3 Holy Lands. There's Mecca, there's Jerusalem, and Medina. I think it's the other one. But here's the deal: you had Arabs living on Palestinian land. The Arabs before this point in time didn't have any problems. You know, they're way back, but like right when this is happening, this whole Balfour Declaration, they weren't having any problems with, you know, Jerusalem and not Jerusalem, but Jewish people and the shit. It's these Zionists who are going to kiss ass to the British Parliament and making friends and got their sympathies, as it states right here, to get this, to get, you know, this guy to fucking sign this shit and say that, yeah, no, this is cool, but it's just a note. It's not a binding agreement. I mean, who in the British government had any control of anything in Palestine? Who were you to give away or to condone or, you know, to give permission that, no, yeah, you go ahead. That's like a guy in Kenya or, I don't know, Luxembourg or Switzerland or whatever, having their friend sign a piece of paper saying, hey, you can just go have Texas.
Yeah.
Fucking good luck. Good luck.
Bunch of Texans are going to have something to say.
It's like, yeah, it says that you can move here, which, I mean, it's not up to you. It was up to the Palestinians, the people who occupied the land. I mean, at this point in time, you can pretty much go anywhere you want to. As long as you're not fucking with anything, you're fine. So then World War II happens. The Zionists are still making their claim and trying to, you know...
So when's the fighting start?
Get their community, 1948.
Okay.
Yeah, 1947 or 48.
Why? Why does the farting start?
The farting start is because of beans, my friend. And Taco Bell. Have you ever had a chalupa? That's why.
It's all that lamb meat, though.
Anyway, so the fighting starts, and this is where I haven't completely gotten to.
Okay.
I don't really know, but this is what I've heard in passing. Let's see if I'm right. So in 1947, after the Holocaust, the World War II, it's all over. They make a claim using the Balfour Declaration saying, we can just come here, and this is ours. So here's what's fucked up about the Palestinian side. I don't know the exact percentage. I'm kind of hazy on it, but there was a certain amount of percentage that the people that were getting sold land in Palestine and Jerusalem saying that this is ours, and the people that are living there, if you want to stay on this land, even though this was sold to me, see, look, I have this piece of paper that says it's mine. They'll give, I think it's 10%, but I'd be lying to say I knew for sure. But you have to give me this much to stay on this land, but it's still mine. Like the Jewish people or the Israelis or the people coming over to fuck with the Palestinians saying like, this is my land because look, I have claim to this. There's like, well, okay, I know you live here and whatever, but see, since it's sold to me, if you want to stay here, you have to give me basically a tithe, if you will, or a tax saying like that you can give me this much, I think per year, I think. So it was like a certain amount over a specific period of time. Because I'd be lying to say I knew for sure. Right? I think it's 10% a year of whatever you're making, and you have to give it to me, and that's how you can stay on this land. That's not yours because it's mine now because I have this document. And then at 1940, I think it's 1947, but I've heard 48 was the, you know, Israel became a nation. Yeah, I think it's one of the two. I get it confused, but during this time in the late 40s, Israel becomes a nation, and then they have a 6-day war, which makes no sense because
my dad was actually
Israel doesn't have a fucking army.
My dad was actually at sea nearby when that was happening.
In the 40s?
No, not in the 40s. Sorry, the 6-day war happened in the 60s.
67.
67.
Okay, sorry. They fought a. You know what? I'm all backwards. Okay, so
Are you talking about the Yom Kippur War? Or are those the same one?
look that because I think it was in Yom Kippur War, 1973. No, not even close. They were fighting since 1967.
Yeah, well, the old man was there.
Anyways, in their late 40s, Israel becomes a nation state, and then Palestine, just like the Palestinians and the Arabs, just kind of get pushed out, and Israel takes control. Israel becomes a nation. They're controlled of Jerusalem. And 1948.
48 Palestinian expulsion.
Yeah, so they're all kicked out in 1948. Expulsion and fight, also known as Nakba, which resulted in about 711,000 Palestinian refugees outside of Israel and around 160,000 internal refugees within Israel. So they're prisoners in their own home.
That'll cause a lot of upset.
Yeah, so this is what really was the catalyst of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And they've been having fights over and over. They've been talking about having a two-state solution. I mean, every president
everybody
for
says
the
that
last 30, 40 years
everybody
wanted it.
Well,
except for maybe Trump.
all the all the major proponents of pro-Israel people are saying that a two-state solution means Israeli genocide,
Which is bullshit.
because there's a lot of radicalized Muslims that have taken the whole the radical position of wiping out the the Jews, and so they've taken the teachings from the Quran and the other Islamic holy books.
This is what drives me crazy. So in the 40s, if I remember this right, in the 40s, the Palestinians had this whole region, right? They had it all. Right before all this shit happened, right before 1948, and then out of nowhere, they gave them, I think, 20% of the land.
Okay, so based on our findings from the Brave browser here, you guys should check it out. Israel became a nation May 14th, 1948, when David Ben-Gurion declared its independence. This event marked the beginning of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. When Israel was established, many Palestinians were displaced, leading to a large number of refugees. The reasons for their displacement are complex and multifaceted, including 1948 Palestinian expulsion and flight, also known as the Nakba, which resulted in about 711,000 Palestinian refugees outside Israel and around 160,000.
It's not a small number, by the way.
No, it's not. I mean, you might as well just say 1 million people. Yeah. The United Nations Partition Plan of 1947, which aimed to divide the British Mandate of Palestine into Arab and Jewish states. Oh, I'm starting to think that, just based on that statement, I'm starting to think that we've got...
So it was 47. That's when they started splitting it up. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. I was
the Arab-Israeli War of 1948, which broke out when 5 Arab nations invaded the territory in the former Palestinian Mandate after...
That's what drives me crazy, because Arabs...
So
if you know anything about their Arab... Hold on.
Sorry.
Let me just get this part.
Sorry.
If you know anything about the Arabs, they can... I mean, for the longest history of time, they could get together and they could mount a force. How the fuck does a brand new nation who's only been around a year, not even a year yet, beat these Arabs who can collectively, like...
Well, logistically, when you have UN support, you have...
That's the thing. They were financed. They were backed. They weren't.
The funny thing is about the United
own.
Nations, as well as NATO, is what provides most. What country provides most of the funding for the UN as well as NATO forces?
We do.
Yours truly.
Here's what it's fun. I will say one thing about all these
It's like
other.
this was the beginning of the war machine.
I will say one thing about the colonialists and all this other bullshit that they've kind of done this. Guess who had NATO backing whenever we became a country? Not us.
Well,
They didn't exist.
NATO didn't exist.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's like-
We just did it on our own.
No.
Not you, Israel. Why you wanting us to help you?
Well, why did we have to stick our noses in it? I guess.
Fucking Israel's making friends. And this is what gets me. This is what gets all of my goats. It gets them all.
Burns them on a fire.
Shit like this. If we want to, I understand that we all can't be libertarians. I understand that we can't be the fucking the free.
The libertarian dream is not. It just can't.
It's not tenable. It's not. But I love it.
It happens in a small community.
Yes,
You know,
in Dunbar's number, it works with 150 people. I think.
it's kind of like communism.
Yeah,
They're small.
But that's the thing is,
they're small scale.
here's the deal. Communism works if you don't have more than 150 people. It works great.
Yeah, but
And all the people have to be good people.
no system is gonna support
But
that
no, but
because
the thing
people
is-
have babies.
Once it grows, it doesn't work.
But even Marx said that in order for communism to thrive, you have to have capitalism because capitalism, when my words just slip out of my head. Capitalism, the people that use the means of production and innovation, the hardship that creates the innovation and people creating those means of production, that has to happen in order to have enough people to leech off the system, which eventually collapses the system.
Which is what was communism, is a bunch of fucking moochers.
Yeah, because you disincentivize people to try harder.
You know,
You disincentivize people to actually excel and create things.
you know the best part about capitalism is
What's that?
competition.
Yes, it's like that's the I don't want to say linchpin, but that's the stone. It's like
It sharpens the knife.
it's iron sharpens iron. Resistance.
But for all you sports fans out there, competition. Okay, let's take the football season right now. As it stands right now, do you think an amazing Super Bowl would be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Carolina Panthers, the very best team against the very worst? Nobody wants to see that shit. No. You know what you want to see?
You want the best of
You want to see exactly what you saw last year. You want to see the 49ers, the very best of the NFC,
against
and the Kansas City Chiefs, the very best of the AFC. I mean, yeah, that might be debatable because they're wide receiver. Anyway, doesn't matter. This is not a sports talk. This is you want to see the best against the best, and this is how you get good shit. You want your best to come in the best, and then the fucking best wins, and everyone is striving. That's capitalism.
Yeah. Iron sharpening.
You're
iron.
fucking like everyone's competing against to make the best shit because you can't sell the most shit if you have crap.
That's
you
right.
can't.
But now we have
If you put out a bad product.
Now we have a lot of crap.
Well, that's the thing. You can't have a bad product on the market because in capitalist systems, the bad product is going to get thrown away.
Yeah, because
Unless
it
you
gets
work for the
rejected.
government, and then all the bad products fucking
all the bad
stick around,
products.
and then they overcharge you, and then we're spending, $1,000 for fucking wrench that don't work.
Yep.
So I mean, for a guy who worked for the government, trust me, I know all about it.
$1,000 for a bunch of wrenches that don't meet spec.
But the thing is, the oil field's just as bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the pricing on their tools. You ever seen a 24-inch pipe wrench? Here, pull up 24-inch pipe wrench. See, how much do you think it costs? Just before you hit the button, how much do you think it costs? 24-inch pipe wrench.
A 24-inch. That's the
Adjustable pipe wrench.
Okay. Well,
24 is 2 feet.
Well, no, but I'm saying, is the pipe 24 inches?
No. The wrench is 24 inches.
Oh,
It's a big fucking wrench.
yeah. It's like a plumber's wrench.
Yeah, it's a big fucker.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. How much do you think that is?
That's like a $80 tool.
Okay, click it in.
Okay.
Right there, you can get a decent one for about $50. A decent one.
Max
Like,
Power, Duratec.
yeah. So okay, Home Depot. Scroll down a little bit.
Home Depot, it's $74.
Yeah. Okay, that's about right. All right, you go.
But up here, online.
those
shopping.
are cheap shit ones. Okay, about $70. $70 for a good one. For a decent pipe wrench.
The red ones are
Oil
the good
field?
ones.
A couple $100.
The pipe wrench question.
Yeah, you go to the oil field. If you see how much they're charging to get a fucking pipe wrench, it's a couple $100. It's
Well,
insane.
because of transport to get it out to the oil field.
No, it's just because they just
All
upcharge
the bids.
Well, the thing is,
The bids.
with oil fields, just like the government, they're just throwing money at a fucking solution, and because thing is, they're gonna pay for it
Because the contractors have bid jobs for the government contracts.
Yeah, and so
And the government has unlimited money, in a sense.
yeah,
Because now it just prints money. Oh, which brings me to the bookmarks that I have in Twitter. Sorry, but yes, sorry.
Here,
Continue.
let's just finish this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Israeli-Palestine conflict, it's a big can of worms, and it's got a long history and a lot of context, and this is what bothers me about this whole debate that I was watching and people who try to come with this. All right. My problem is that they take all the context out of it. They don't realize that they've both been being dickheads for a long time to each other. They leave out the fact that Israel just took it by daddy. They just like, dad said I could have this, so it's mine. And then they fought a small war. And you know what? You fight a war, shit happens, right? You lose your land. They kind of treated the Palestinians like shit. Palestinians.
Well, they said, "Get the fuck out. This is ours now."
Yeah, this is ours now. And so they did that, and then they, by their own fucking right, or whatever. No matter how they got it, right? It's not cool how they got it, but they got it. You know, shit happens, right? I don't condone it. Who can?
Doesn't mean you're not gonna have a fight later.
And that's the thing. You act like this was hundreds and hundreds of years ago. This just happened, right? And then they're like, "Well, what about whenever the PLO killed all those people for the Israelis in the Olympics, in Munich Olympics in 1972? That's fucked up. That's absolutely correct.
But that's a response to stuff like that.
Yes, but you think they're not still pissed off? What about them bombing this? And what about them bombing this? Like, what about this? All right, here's a good point. October 7th happened. They killed a bunch of civilians, and 34 children died. And it's a fucking atrocity.
Yeah.
If you're a father, if you're a parent, mother, father, any of it, if you're a parent, that shit breaks your heart and it fucks you up.
So,
now,
yeah.
How many did the Israelis? I'm not talking about in the history. I'm talking about fucking recently. How many kids did they kill the Palestinians? You said, oh, well, you know what? They need to respond by killing thousands of children. That's not a good response, is it? That doesn't seem fair.
What was that? That wasn't covered in the media.
Because let's see, they shut off all their water, all their food supply. Oh, the Israeli people.
It's the Israeli government.
Yes, the Israeli government.
Where in
Gaza?
In Gaza Strip.
Yes,
okay.
They cut off all that, starved them, and they bombed the shit out of them. Because if you've seen pictures, like pull up Gaza right now, pull up what it looks like.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Gaza Strip today. I don't even I don't know what the actual thing. By the way, this might be kind of fucked up to see, so just, warning and the whole thing. Yeah, right there. Just look to your right. I'm sure that's not like what that looked like 6 months ago. Or 8 months ago. Now take a look. Now look at that. If you're a parent, think about that, but thousands of them.
Yeah.
Now here, let's take
Decimated.
that off because I can't see that. I'm a dad. That shit that's giving me the fucking feels and it pisses me off. I understand there's hazards of war, shit happens, and the whole thing. Every excuse that everybody says, right? There's casualties of war.
Yeah.
Now, who are you going for, Israel? Are you pulling the same like October 7th? We're just gonna go after what was a concert or something like that?
Yeah.
And they went
Music festival
and doing all that shit, and they killed a bunch of people, and it's fucked up and it sucks, and nobody says that it's okay. No one, except maybe some of the Palestinians, but nobody like in the rational outside of that conflict says that it's okay. And then your response is to kill everything on their side, and then you wonder, like, what is your goal here? Because you say you're not trying to commit genocide, but what is your goal? To create more people? Because here, I'll tell you one thing about the Iraq War, which I know plenty about. The more that you bomb and you fuck up communities in Iraq and
More you
Afghanistan,
radicalize people.
you radicalize more. And it's like, what was the math? It's like, if you kill 2, you just made 20. Or some kind of math like that. It was like
You've radicalized all the survivors.
you radicalized the survivors. Let's say you bomb a building, 10 people died. Guess how many people are in those families?
That's the true.
You just fucking radicalized 100 fucking people at least.
That's the
And
truth.
it could be more.
That's the true thing that people don't really consider when they talk about a civil war coming in the United States, because in war, like ultimately, like at the end of the day, you count the costs and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, nobody like wins when it comes to war.
No.
Because the violence just goes back and forth.
Because they keep thinking that this shit. They keep thinking this shit is World War II and fighting the Nazis. It's
not,
like there's
it's
not a clear winner anymore.
That's not that. Yeah.
Because you can't use that example.
The
and
problem
people are
on
trying
the-
to say that Hamas is
and
like the Nazis.
And the problem.
How do you think Hamas got there? What do you think
Yeah.
put them in that position? Nobody's apologizing for the shit that they do, and nobody says that they're right. But if you take all the context out and just like, hey, we're just walking around and these people just started killing all our people at a concert, you lose the whole argument. You lost it because you're forgetting about all the shit that happened. In 1967, they didn't say, hey, you could have, all right, we're going to split this up a little bit. You just took all of it.
Yep.
For shit that wasn't yours. And you think that nobody's going to be...
By force.
And you think that nobody's going to be mad about it? What do you think was going to happen? Nobody says it's right, but to say that nothing happened? Let's say you're having an argument with your girlfriend, right? And you slap the shit out of her, right? Does that make you right? No. Just because she was saying all kinds of crazy shit, does that make you right? No.
Oh.
And then when you get fucking stabbed and she's sitting there in fucking courtroom fucking talking about, well, what'd you think was going to happen? He slapped the shit out of you and she fucking stabbed him. It doesn't make it right that she killed him, but you kind of see why. They didn't say, hey, I'm cool with this. It's just like, I get it. You're still going to jail forever, but I see why. I see why. Oh, he used to kick the shit out of you and you finally fucking burned him alive. I'm like, all right, well, that's fucked up, but I can see how you got to A to B. It's like, yeah, you took these people's land and then you oppressed them for a long ass fucking time. And then they fucking finally reacted. Maybe it wasn't the right reaction. Maybe they should have went for a military target and not for fucking civilians. Listen to fucking Kenny Chesney and shit. But you can't sit there and say, oh, this came out of no bullshit. There's a
rarely
reason.
Comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's always a story.
I don't know. You got bookmarks. Sorry, that's my whole thing about. That's why I wanted to ask you about Israeli and Palestine, because
I don't know anymore. I don't have a solid position.
Well, this whole thing
anything.
about everyone's like, oh, Israel's right, but are you?
Yeah.
And the Palestinians right, but are you? I mean, like, you got to have the whole conversation.
It's like the Crusades. Like it goes on long enough, and then you forget
why you even
why people are even fighting. You're just fighting because there's aggression. There's just unmitigated aggression based, and you don't even remember why you're fighting.
I'm going to circle back to the Crusades again. And
yeah, I mean, I think all that stuff is connected in such a way
because
it's the story of like human emotions and how it drives the course of history.
I mean, the fact that like how we like not we because I wasn't there. That was fucking hundreds of thousands of years ago. Well, 1,000 years ago, but the fact that like they just randomly we have a claim to Jerusalem. Like, well, we haven't been there. We haven't lived there in 400 years, or had any claim or anything. But we should. Let's kill thousands of people in the process and still lose.
Let's kill everybody.
Let's do it.
I gotta pee.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going.
All right. Yeah. No, I think the whole thing is that I'm getting tired of going off of other people's opinions.
Radicalized causes. Oh, this is where I want, now that the light is not so bright. Sorry, people. You know what? I'm going to start opting for lower light because I can't think when there's a bright sun in my face.
You got to ignore it.
Yeah, well, it's hard. I'm very sensitive to light right now.
AIDS.
Okay. Yes. But no, what you're also seeing on the other side of all this is you're starting to see a sharp rise in anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
In the aftermath of all this, and it is rampant.
But again,
and people are starting to talk about it.
It's not for no reason.
It's not for no reason, but it's also
not
like,
cool, but still context.
It's radicalized ideologies in real time that are forming and becoming their own. Like they're metastasizing.
You know what I'm curious about of this whole situation?
What's that?
Is the people that are like free Palestine and all this. I wonder how well versed they are in this actual
Most
situation.
of them aren't.
It's like then like what are you jumping on this bandwagon for? Because if you only look at what
why are they protesting off of George Bush?
Well, I'm curious. Like this is what gets me is like if you're only going off of what you see in the news, right? They're painting Israel in a great light.
Well, yes.
No, I'm just saying, but if you're only going, then why? If you're not well versed in it, like let's be generous. 50-50 are well versed, and the other 50% are not. The other 50% are not. Why are you going for Palestine? If they're painting this as Israel just kind of walking by and somebody just started shooting them.
Well, it's the next Black Lives Matter. It's the next radical cause because that's the problem with the I hate to say it, but Democratic Party in general is they like to co-opt emotions and radicalize people to their ends because the ones that aren't thinking and especially the ones that don't have much in the sense of a future, because you have a lot of people in this current generation in their 20s.
They got no direction.
They got no direction.
They got nowhere to go.
They got lots of energy. They got lots of emotion.
And they got lots of staying at home with mom.
And they got lots of other problems, mental health issues. They got TikTok and all that stuff, and they're easily radicalized.
By the way, let me tell you something real quick.
Sure.
This whole social media thing is going to be the end of us.
Well, yeah, it was the like. Remember, I said it in the last podcast.
I know we're trying to do social media shit, but I'm telling you right now,
we're just talking. This is radio.
Have you seen Reels?
Reels
on Facebook. Like you go through the Reels.
Oh yes. I don't keep scrolling upwards. I just watch the reel and then I'll wipe off.
I just started that
and then go back. Oh yeah, it's like Facebook's version of
I
TikTok.
lost 45 minutes. I was like, where did it go?
Yeah,
and I had shit to do. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
it means nothing. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, show me your bookmarks.
Yeah, I got some. I'll start down here. There we go. This is Chip Roy. He is one of the few in Congress that I will listen to what they have to say And I'm definitely not a fan of Speaker Mike Johnson no more.
Wait. Taylor Swift cursing her entire audience, followed by Anton LaVey explaining
that's
the specific curse being used.
You want to look at that?
No.
Okay.
No, I was just like, I was trying to read, and I looked at like...
It's just stuff I bookmarked for later stuff,
Yeah.
if my equipment will behave. Yes, but that's when I'll pull up the reaction shot. And I will... Yeah, okay, here we go.
All right,
This is Chip Roy talking about, like, budget stuff. Representative Chip Roy. I don't know what his district is, but he's one of the few gentlemen from Texas that I will listen to.
All right, we'll see what he says.
Yeah, here we go.
Every single person I talk to cannot understand how a body that is supposed
Sorry. I'll wait for you to.
React to something I can't hear.
Yeah, you can't react to something you can't hear.
Okay.
Starting it over.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay.
Every single person I talk to cannot understand how a body that is supposed to be representative of the people comes here and manages to make this country worse on a daily basis, no matter who's in the majority. I defy anybody to prove me otherwise. $34 trillion of debt, and we have my Democratic colleagues saying we can't even have a conversation about Social Security, Medicare, and we have ATR and a bunch of people flipping out on our side saying you can't even have a conversation about taxes. What in the utter hell is wrong with this body? It is just mind-blowing. If you believe in modern monetary theory, then put your money where your mouth is and just get rid of taxes. Why should we have a single dollar of taxation if you believe in modern monetary theory? Just spend our children's inheritance. Do you watch the debt clock and have even a pang of guilt at your own incompetence? And I'm looking at every member of the body, both sides of the aisle, and I'm looking in the mirror. We can't even cut discretionary spending. We can't even cut bureaucrats and programs that have very little discernible value to the American citizens. And we think we're going to have a serious conversation about Social Security and Medicare?
No, not a chance.
It's laughable. It is absolutely laughable. And it's an embarrassment to come back and sit here in a committee where we have colleagues shutting down any chance of bipartisan efforts to put everything on the table and do our damn job. Meanwhile, the American people are the people left holding the bag. So this bill, I mean, frankly, every one of these commissions in the past has failed. That's why we're $34 trillion in debt.
34?
Oh, have you not seen the debt clock, bro?
No, I don't want to look at it either.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, this is stuff.
Dude.
Yeah, we're 34 trillion in debt. That means that. Do you realize that the interest payments per month?
What do we
is
even
literally-
have? What do we have in the reserve right now?
What reserve
That's
of
backed.
what? Reserve of what?
Us. Like, what is backed? How is our currency backed? We don't have 34 trillion.
What do you think it's backed by?
Monopoly money.
No, okay, well, what would back the monopoly money?
Gold.
Yeah, dude, that ain't been the case since 1971.
I know we're not on the gold standard, but it has to be backed by
Oil.
something.
Okay.
Oh, we have that.
There's only one thing.
That we have that.
We have that, but for how long?
It reminds me of The Simpsons. But for how long?
I mean,
Hey, you know what?
that's the thing. It's not backed by anything. It's like they create more money into existence based on loans from the Treasury.
Yeah, but
it
that shit doesn't exist.
Exactly. It's just out of thin air.
That's what I said. Monopoly money.
It's all monopoly money. The only thing that's backing it, the only reason that our dollar has value at all, and I've said this before. I had said this years ago, and I knew this years before that. I'm like, well, the only thing backing the U.S. dollar is the petrodollar, right?
Yeah.
That's about the only thing. What happens if a whole bunch of nations want to get together and decide to
Not buy our oil?
stop using the U.S. dollar, start trading oil in not USD? What do you think? What would happen?
Eastern Bloc Russia.
Yeah, or
No, we would collapse.
what's It's Weimar Germany.
Yeah, between
We're the same.
between 1918 and 1939. Yeah.
We're the same place.
Happiness.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying. It's like it sucks.
Yeah, we're in a very America is in a very precarious place. That was weird. But here's how much. Here's how much mainstream media has declined in the past. Here, I'll say.
Okay, if anybody's shocked by this, you're stupid. Fox News 24%, and how long since
2020?
20%.
Fox News negative 24%.
CNN 20%, which I think they're actually starting to come back up.
Well, they got under new management, but look at
but they're being
New York Times, Washington Post negative 45%.
Yeah, but it looks
The
Washington Post is starting to. They're not starting.
No
one's safe. That's what we're saying.
Well, it's like there's no trust in the mainstream media anymore because they're
and you
all,
did it to yourselves.
Yeah. I mean,
and here, anybody who's ever been in a relationship, anyone, once that trust is gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't come back, and if it does come back, it's always a tainted. Like it's not going to really work.
Yeah.
I don't know. This whole thing, it's not going to work. None of this. If y'all don't stop the AI shit, which you can't.
It's not a thing.
It's not a
thing that's going to stop.
I'm saying that I don't know. I'm so against it. Because it's going to kill just productive and creative thought. Which is what nations like ours, our creativity is what it's based on.
Speaking of creativity, this is how you used to create horse riding scenes in movies.
Yep. I mean,
fun.
You're retarded. All right, here. This is what I got to leave you on.
I just thought that was interesting.
That was fun. Honestly, I love it. It just made me laugh. Here, I want to leave you on something. Go to YouTube.
Okay.
This is something that I discovered randomly just hanging out with Alyssa.
What is that?
Type in green beans. So, yeah. Green beans. No. Space, green, space, beans. Space song.
Space.
No. Green beans, space. Oh, right there. Third one down.
Oh. Green beans song.
Let's see. Did I find the second one down? Hey, so I love you, and you're my favorite, but this is what I want to listen to.
The Hungry Food song.
Mm-hmm. I hope you all enjoy this, since we're going to do random shit. And here we go. Eat your veggies.
Green beans, green beans, green beans, green beans, green.
Shout out to the Hungry Food Band.
Beans, green, beans, green beans, green beans, green beans, green beans, green beans, green.
It's for you, Jennifer.
Beans, green beans, green beans, green beans, green beans.
All right.
Okay, that's enough.
That's
Beans.
beans. That's some serious. That's like what I would use to torture someone.
The
play it
fun
over
part
and
is that
over.
wouldn't work on me. I'd just be dancing. Like, you want to see some cool interpretive dancing for green beans?
Interpretants. I don't know.
I don't know. Life's weird.
Life's weird. World's on fire.
Hey, I have more to say about Alan Dulles on the next episode. I want to talk about some sports next time. And yeah, stay tuned. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this episode. If you liked us getting mad and me yelling at Porter about Israel, follow us for more.
He wasn't yelling at me.
I know, but I'm very
It's
passionate
not a
about.
struggle session.
Oh no. Hey, so you want to do that? Fine. Next session is God real? Our debate. Stay tuned.
Well, the last 30 years have tried to have that debate, and look what happened. Not last 30 years, more like last 50, since the 60s.
Yeah.
Everybody tried to say God was dead. And look what happened. That's what I got to say. Anyways, sweet lads, stay tuned
Hey,
and
stay tuned. We got so much more fun stuff.
follow us. Send us money.
Yeah,
Do it.
we could use it.
Yeah, we got.